Hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing world map. Okay, the places which are usually asked for prelims. Okay, it's really hard to study all the places on the map. So what we will do today is we will study all the important places UPSC has already asked, as well as UPSC would probably ask. So there are so many favorite areas of UPSC which they frequently ask questions from. So today we'll be seeing those areas. Okay. So first of all, uh, let's before we begin this, let's just start. All of you should keep your atlas with you. Okay. So only then we'll be able to identify all the places we are studying. So until you start using the maps or learning the maps through the atlas or through the diagrams, you would not have good clarity about the places and their locations. Okay, so I would suggest all of you to keep your atlas with you when you're studying the locations. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so first, I would just tell you the broad areas where UPSC have been asking questions from. Okay, this includes place. We know, like if you're looking at the previous year questions, UPSC has frequently asked bordering countries or what about these or countries like Afghanistan, right? Even last year there was a question. So we'll be discussing certain bordering countries. Then we'll see all the oceans and seas. This is also a favorite area, but UPSC does not focus on all the oceans and seas. Rather, it focuses especially in the Western Asian region, like such as Mediterranean Sea, Caspian Sea, etc. So we'll be seeing that as well. Okay. Then we'll be also looking into canals, straits, and isthmus. This is also one of the favorite areas of UPSC. Even the question was asked for last year's mains. Okay. Yes, the next topic we'll be discussing is the international lakes and all the regions in news. So it's not possible to cover all the topics in one go. So we'll be discussing the first two topics today and the rest of the 50 in the next session. Okay. So let's start. So first, we'll look into all the bordering countries. Okay. So I've divided it accordingly. Okay. So I told you there are certain areas UPSC frequently asks questions from. So we'll identify those areas and give more focus on those countries. Okay. So first important area is the Central Asian countries. Okay. Then yes, Afghanistan. Afghanistan is important because of the political turmoil going on there. Okay. Then we look into the Middle Eastern countries. Then Israel, Syria region. This is one of the most favorite areas of UPSC. They frequently ask so many questions from this region. Okay. Then Southeast Asia. Okay. And countries in North, that is Ukraine, Sudan. Okay. These are like general areas where UPSC have asked questions and probably would ask. Like Ukraine and Sudan, there's high probability they'll ask this year. Okay. Because war is happening there. Okay. So we'll start with the Central Asian countries. Okay. So what is this 5 stance? Okay. We'll see that. Okay. So if you're talking about Central Asian countries, these were actually countries of Soviet Union. Okay, these countries were part of Soviet Union and they got liberated during disintegration of Soviet Union. Okay, so these 5 Central Asian countries ends its stance. So that is why I've called it the 5 stance. So here we have the Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. Actually, Afghanistan is not part of Central Asian countries. These 5 are the 5 stans of the Central Asian countries. Okay, remember they were initially part of the Soviet Union. Okay, so we have Kazakhstan here. On top of Kazakhstan, we have Russia. This side we have China. So both Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan has bordering with China. Then we have Uzbekistan here, which is actually logged between all these and Afghanistan. Then we have Turkmenistan. Okay. On to the left of this, we have the Caspian Sea, which is bordered by the Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan. So we'll see about this Caspian Sea later on in a separate slide. Okay. So remember, these are the 5 stans of Central Asia. Now, one more thing you must remember about these 5 stans is the important places here. For example, if you're taking the case of Turkmenistan, it is Ashgabat. Are you familiar with this Ashgabat? Yes, there's an Ashgabat agreement. Okay. Regarding the trilateral highway, which is also part of the INSTC, that is International North-South Transit Corridor. Okay. So the Ashgabat agreement is very famous. And remember, this place, Ashgabat, is in Turkmenistan. Okay. Similarly, there's another place, Dushanbe. Dushanbe is also has been in news. So remember, that is in Tajikistan. Okay. And Bishkek. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. So I think this is more clear. This will be more clear if I'll just highlight it. Okay. So we have Dushanbe here. We have what? Bishkek. So Bishkek, it's in Kyrgyzstan. Okay. So Dushanbe is there. Bishkek is there. Dushanbe is in Tajikistan and Bishkek is in Kyrgyzstan. Okay. Then, yes, these are the important things. Then Ashgabat also we spoke about. Okay. Then between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, we have the what? Aral Sea. Okay. Aral Sea is also very important. We'll see that later. So these are some of the important places you must know about the what? Central Asian countries. So remember 5 stans in Central Asia. That is Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkmenistan. Okay. Clear? So now let's move on. Okay. Next important place is Afghanistan. Okay. So when you're talking about Afghanistan, 2 things you must remember. One is about the bordering countries. Another is the important places there. Okay. So first we'll see the bordering countries. Okay. So who borders Afghanistan? Okay. We know 3 countries, right? We have Pakistan, India, and China, right? These are there on this side. Okay. And on the west side, there is Iran. Okay. And on the top, out of the 4 stans, 3 stans borders Afghanistan. That is Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. Remember, out of the 5 Central Asian stans, 3 actually what borders Afghanistan. That is Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. So how do you remember all the 3 stans? Just remember the K stans are not there. That is Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan is not there. K stans are not there. And that is there. That is Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan is there. Okay. So that will be easier to remember, right? So we have 3 stans. That is K stan is not there. The rest of the 3 stans are there. Then we have China on one side, Pakistan and India, as well as Iran on the west side. Okay. Clear? Yes. And another thing you must remember, this line, this particular line which separates Afghanistan and Pakistan is called the Durand line. Okay. It is the Durand line. And there is a small corridor towards the end of this Durand line. This part you can see, right? This part. Okay. This is the Wakkan corridor. Okay. Remember the name Wakkan corridor. So Afghanistan is actually connected to India. That is only a part of Kashmir. That is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. That part is actually connected with Afghanistan through this Wakkan corridor. Yeah. Okay. So that is Afghanistan. So remember there are 3 stans. Okay, except for all the K stans. The rest of the 3 stans are there. Then we have China, India, Pakistan, and Iran. Okay. Yeah. Now we'll see some of the important places in what? Afghanistan. Okay. So one of the important places is Mazar-e Sharif. Okay, when you hear this name, you must remember it is from what? Afghanistan. Then Herat. You would have heard this in news very frequently. Herat. Herat is there. Zaran is there. Okay, when you speak about Zaran, there is Zaran's Dalaram Highway, which is constructed by India. Okay, Dalaram is actually in Iran. Okay. Then we have the famous Kandahar. Okay. Then there is Kabul. Okay. So, yeah, this is the other places like Ghazni and all is important, but just know at least these places. We have Masiri Sharif, Herat, Zaranj, Kandahar, and Kabul. Okay, this is actually a part of what? There's a Garland Highway. Okay, Garland Highway in Afghanistan. So this is actually part of this Garland Highway, and India is trying to get connected to Afghanistan through this Garland Highway. Okay, all the way from Iran through the Chabahar port, Iran, Dalaram Highway, and then to this Garland Highway. Okay, so remember these. Okay, apart from that, you must also remember the Hind Kush Mountains. Remember the Hind Kush Mountains and the Khyber Pass. Okay, Khyber Pass is connectivity to what? The Islamabad or the Pakistan region. Okay. So these are the important things you must remember in Afghanistan. Okay, clear? Okay, so we have Masiri Sharif, Herat, Zaranj, Kandahar, and Kabul. Okay. Okay. And one more thing, yes, I would like to mention is the Bamiyan. It's not that important now, but it was asked because there was Bamiyan Buddha statues, okay, and which is bombed by who? The terrorists, okay, Taliban terrorists, Bamiyan Buddhas. So that was, it happened many years back. I mean, at least 5 to 6 years back. I don't remember the exact year. Okay, just remember that name. I don't think it's that relevant now, but I just want to mention. Okay, so that is Afghanistan. Clear? So we saw the 5 stans and Afghanistan. Now we'll see one of the questions which was asked last year for prelims. Okay, so consider the following questions: Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Okay, which of the above borders with Afghanistan? This was the question asked last year for prelims. Okay. So it's 1, 2, and 5 only. 1, 2, 3, and 4 only. 3, 4, and 5 only. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So how do you answer this question? Okay. So question is, which of the above have borders with Afghanistan? Okay. So we told all the stans except for the K stans does not have borders. So we have Tajikistan, that is right. Turkmenistan would be there. Uzbekistan would be there. So Kyrgyzstan, will it be there? No. So we eliminated Kyrgyzstan. So Azerbaijan, we might not remember it, right? So we don't know where Azerbaijan is. So what would we do? First, we'll eliminate all the statements which we are sure about. Okay, so we eliminate all the statements with 2. So we have eliminated A, here there is 2, we eliminate this, and here also there is 2, we eliminate. So we'll get the answer as C. This is actually how you arrive at answers for prelims. Okay, yeah. So even if you might not know all the points or all the bordering countries, just remember all the important countries and you will be able to answer the question. Okay, clear? Okay. So let's move on. Now we'll move on to the next important region, that is the Middle Eastern countries. Okay. So when we talk about Middle East, remember this whole area constitutes the Middle East. Okay. It is not just the Gulf countries such as Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Iraq, etc. Or Kuwait, Bahrain, etc. But also countries such as Libya, Egypt, and Sudan, where part of Africa, as well as this country, Syria, Israel, all these countries here, and Iran. Okay, all these are part of what? The Middle Eastern countries. Okay, so we'll see these countries in detail. But first, we'll see the important seas in this region, or the oceans, the part of sea in this region. So if you're talking about the Middle Eastern region, here about Turkey, we have what? The Black Sea. Okay. Then here on the west, we have the Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Then we have the Caspian Sea here. That is Caspian Sea located above Iran. Okay. There is Caspian Sea. And between Iran and Saudi Arabia, we have the Persian Gulf. So Persia is actually the old name of Iran. So this would be easier to remember. So we have Iran on one side and the Gulf countries on the other side. And this region is called the Persian Gulf. Then between the Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and the African countries, we have what? The Red Sea. Okay. Then below this, we have the Gulf of Aden. Aden is actually the old name of Yemen. So Gulf of Aden would be next to Yemen. So Red Sea is connected to the Arabian Sea through the Gulf of Aden. Okay. Then we also have the Gulf of Oman here. That is Persian Gulf is connected to the Arabian Sea through where? Through the Gulf of Oman. Okay. So these are the some of the oceans which actually surround what? The or which is within the Middle Eastern region. Okay. So we'll see all these in detail later on, but just remember the location. Okay. So I'm just trying to repeatedly mention all these regions to you so that you can easily learn it. Okay. So these locations are very important. So if you keep on seeing it multiple times, it will be easier for you to remember. Okay. Oh. So let's move on now. Okay. So this is the Middle Eastern countries. Okay. So now I told you the Israel-Syria region. This is one of the most important regions, Israel-Syria regions. Because UPSC has frequently asked questions from here. Every year or maybe like once in 2 years, they keep on asking questions from some region of this, like in some places of this region. Okay. So what constitutes Israel-Syria region? Yes, there is Syria. There is Israel. So if there is Israel, there will be what? Palestine. Yes. Then there is Jordan and Lebanon. So these are the 5 countries we'll be learning. Okay. We have Syria, Israel, Palestine, Jordan, and Lebanon. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So first we'll see what? Syria. Okay. Syria, why is it important? Yes, this is one of the favorite areas of UPSC. Not just that, this is one of the most conflicting regions. Okay. Always there'll be some kind of conflicts going on here, some kinds of wars going on here. So Syria is very important. Okay. Okay. So we can see Syria here. This is Syria. So remember, it is also part of the Middle Eastern region. Okay. So if you're talking about Syria, how would you remember? So there's Turkey here, Iraq here, Jordan here, Israel here, Lebanon here. Okay. Okay. So I'll give you a code for this in order to remember this. It is Tijil. Okay. Remember whenever you speak about Syria, remember this word Tijil. So what is the expansion? Yes, obviously the bordering countries. So if we're talking about Tijil, it is T, it is what? Turkey, I is Iraq, J is Jordan, Israel, and Lebanon. So remember, whenever you're talking about Syria, you must remember what? Tijil. So we have Turkey here, Iraq is here, Jordan is here, and yeah, Israel, another I, and Lebanon. Okay. Yes, these are the 5 countries bordering Syria. Okay. And on one side, we have what? The Mediterranean Sea. Okay. So Turkey, Iraq, Jordan, Israel, and Lebanon. Tijil. Okay. So Syria is Tijil. Remember that. Okay. Okay. So I just forgot to mention one more thing here. So 2 important regions in Syria you must remember is Aleppo and Damascus. Okay. So we have Aleppo on top here and Damascus. You must not forget these names. Remember Tijil, Aleppo, and Damascus. 3 things you must remember about what? Syria. Okay. So see, it is not possible to learn all the places in Syria, right? But whenever UPSC asks a question, you must be able to eliminate it. So if you know at least these options, you would be able to eliminate the options. I mean, these names you would be able to eliminate. So whenever Aleppo comes, you must remember it is from Syria. And Damascus comes, it is from where? It is from Syria. Okay. So these 2 places are very important. Okay. Now, another thing that is very important is the Golan Heights. So this is the Golan Heights. This is also asked for UPSC. It is actually a place of Syria, but the problem is Israel. Israel actually occupied this Golan Heights region. Okay, so now it's under the control of Israel. Okay, and bordering that we have the Sea of Galilee and the Jordan River. Okay. So remember, it is a region between Israel and Syria, the Golan Heights. Okay. So remember, it was actually part of Syria, but now it is occupied by Israel. Clear? Okay. Another interesting fact is, you see Lebanon here and Jordan here. This Golan Heights region between Syria and Israel separates Lebanon and Jordan. That means Lebanon and Jordan are not directly linked. Okay? Clear? That is how it is. Okay. Remember, Lebanon and Jordan are not directly linked. Okay. So this Golan Heights region separates them. Okay. Clear? Okay. So now let's move on. So we saw Syria now. Next place we'll be seeing is what? Yeah, first we'll see a question. Okay, previous year question regarding this. The area known as Golan Heights sometimes appears in the news in the context of the events related to Central Asia, Middle East, Southeast Asia, Central Africa. So we know, we already spoke that it is part of the Middle East. Okay, so that is a direct question. We can, if you know it, you can answer it. But even if you don't know it, you can actually eliminate. So like whenever you know this answer, also check on all the other options. Okay, Central Africa, no. Southeast Asia, no. Central Asia, you might get confused with whether it is part of Middle East or the Central Asia. But remember, Central Asia is just the 5 stans. Okay, so this is not part of that. Okay, so that also you can eliminate it. So there's only one answer, that is Middle East. Clear? Okay. Okay. So next region we'll be talking about is Israel. Okay. Okay. So this is Israel. This is also one of the favorite finishes. So we have Golan Heights here. So then we have what? Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Egypt. Okay. Yeah. So remember this word jealous. Okay. Just remember, everybody is jealous of Israel. Okay. That means what? Yeah. The key word for Israel is jealous. That is, which all countries would be there? We have Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, and Syria. 4 countries. Okay. Just remember, everybody is jealous of Israel, Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, and Syria. Okay. These are the bordering countries of who? Israel. Okay. Apart from that, what you must remember about Israel is, one thing is Golan Heights. We saw that. Okay. Then we have here the Dead Sea between Jordan, Israel, and Palestine. This region is actually Palestine. We'll see that in the next slide. Okay. Then we have 2 important places, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Okay. Now the official capital of Israel is Jerusalem. Earlier it was Tel Aviv, but now it is Jerusalem. Okay. And on one side we have the Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Also remember this part. This is actually the Red Sea. Okay. This is the Red Sea. So Israel is also connected to the Red Sea. Okay. And we have Egypt here. So we'll see about this region later on when we see about the peninsulas. I mean, about these 2 rivers, or seas. Okay. So remember, Israel, everybody is jealous of Israel. So we have Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, and Syria. Okay. And we have what water bodies? Dead Sea, Mediterranean Sea, and the Red Sea. Okay. And 2 important places, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Okay. That is Israel. So whenever we talk about Israel, one thing you cannot miss out is Palestine. So which constitute Palestine? 2 places. That is Gaza Strip is there and the West Bank. These together forms part of what? Palestine. This is actually within Israel. So you can, if you see this slide, you can actually see, right? Israel is here. Okay. We have West Bank here and Gaza Strip here. It is within this country. Okay. And Israel is actually expanding. Okay. So we have West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Okay. So why is this region called the West Bank? Remember, West Bank is not on the east side, not the west side. Although the name is West Bank, it is on the east side. Why is it so? Yes, it is on the west side of the Dead Sea. That is why it is called West Bank. Okay, so similar to how we call West Bengal. West Bengal, how is West Bengal called West Bengal? No, it's on the east side of India, but it is called West Bengal because it is on the west side of the old Bengal region or Bangladesh region. Okay, so it is on the west of the Bengal region, so it's West Bengal. Similarly, West Bank is on the west side of the Dead Sea. That's why West Bank, but it is actually on the east of what Israel. Okay, clear. Then there is on the east side we have what? On the west side we have what? The Gaza Strip. Okay, and Gaza Strip has what? Border with Egypt. Is this whole area is Israel and Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Okay, clear? So one side there is what? Mediterranean Sea, Egypt, and Israel. Okay, and if you're talking about this one, we have what? Jordan here and the Dead Sea. Okay, West Bank. So state of Palestine, two strips, that is Gaza Strip and West Bank. West Bank is on the east side. Okay, clear? Okay. Now we move on to Jordan. Okay. So remember, Jordan has so many sisters. Jordan loves his sisters. So it's called Sisi. Okay. So why Sisi? Yes, there is Syria here, Iraq here, Saudi Arabia here, and Israel here. Okay. So Sisi. It's Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. So Jordan loves all his sisters or Sisis. Okay. So Syria is there, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. So it's easy to remember, right? Clear? Okay. Another important thing which I've already mentioned is this Jordan does not touch who? Lebanon. Okay. Lebanon stays free from Jordan. Okay. Clear? And also there is Palestine as well, but it is not that important because Palestine is not as such considered as a state. The puzzle is actually going on. Okay, you can also think about Palestine, but remember the Sisis. Okay. Okay. So, and one important place you must remember whenever we speak about Jordan is this place, Amman. Okay. Jordan, Amman. It is the capital of Jordan, Amman. Okay. So, this is what you must remember of Jordan. So, Sisi and Amman. Okay. Yeah. And remember, Lebanon does not touch who? Jordan. Okay. So, yes, I've already told Amman. This is one thing you must remember about Jordan. Okay. One more thing you must remember of Jordan is all the seas which it touches. Okay. So, here we have what? The Sea of Galilee. Here we have the Dead Sea. Okay. And this is Gulf of Aqaba. Gulf of Aqaba is part of the Red Sea. Okay. So, this is actually part of who? The Red Sea. Red Sea. Okay. So, Gulf of Aqaba is part of Red Sea. Okay. So, yeah, we must remember these. Okay. So, if you're talking about Jordan, these seas. And also remember, Mediterranean Sea does not touch Jordan. So, you can see Mediterranean Sea is lying far from Jordan. So, it does not touch Jordan. So, we have what? The Sea of Galilee, we have the Dead Sea, and the Gulf of Aqaba, which is also part of the Red Sea. Okay. And this is called the Egypt or Sinai Peninsula. We'll see that later. Okay. And one more thing you must remember is this Amman. Okay. And if you really love to remember the places, you can also think about the Petra and Al-Aqaba. Okay. But need not remember all those things, but remember Amman for sure. Okay. And the seas. Okay. Clear? So yes, that is Jordan. Next, one more place, that is Lebanon. Okay. Lebanon. So yes, talking about Lebanon, only two places are there. This whole part is covered by who? Syria. Okay. And on bottom we have who? Israel. Only two countries. We have Syria and Israel. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And on one side we have who? The Mediterranean. Okay. So it's clear, right? Then Beirut, remember this place, it is the capital of Lebanon. Okay. So these are the what? 5 Syria region countries. Okay. So Lebanon has only 2 countries, that is only one sea, that is Syria and Israel. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just have a look at this once again because usually this is very confusing. Okay. We'll start from this place. We'll start from Syria. We just have a quick revision of Syria. So I told you, what are the borders of Syria? Remember the word? Tijil. Okay. Yes, Tijil. So we have who? Turkey, Iraq, Jordan, Israel, and Lebanon. Tijil. And 2 places you must remember is Aleppo and Syria. And on one side we have who? The Mediterranean Sea. That is Syria. Okay. So that is Tijil. Okay. Then next is what? The Golan Heights region, which is a region between Israel and what? Syria. Okay. It actually separates who? The Lebanon and Jordan. Okay. This we saw. Then we have what? Israel. If you're talking about Israel, what should you remember? Everybody is jealous of Israel, right? So if everybody is jealous of Israel, who are the bordering countries? Yes, we have J, Jordan, E, Egypt, L, Lebanon, and S, Syria. Jealous. Okay. Then we have what? Golan Heights here. On one side we have the Mediterranean Sea. Remember, apart from that, there is Dead Sea here, and there is what? The Red Sea. Okay, Israel also touching the Red Sea through Gulf of Aqaba. Okay. Yes, then we have the Palestine, 2 places, West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Okay. And on one side we have what? The Dead Sea, and on another side we have what? The Mediterranean Sea. And remember, West Bank is on the east side of the Palestine, Israel. Okay. Yes. Then we have what? Jordan. Jordan is what? Jordan has a lot of sisters. So Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. Okay. So remember, all the rest of the countries has had all the what? 5 Syria, Israel region countries. But for Jordan, there are outsiders such as Iraq and Saudi Arabia. So remember, Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. Okay. Apart from that, you must remember who? Amman. Okay. So Amman is there, and then all the seas. We have Sea of Galilee, Dead Sea, and Gulf of Aqaba. Okay. And actually, Jordan River flows all the way like this. Okay. Then also the Golan Heights, which separates what? The Lebanon and the Jordan region. Here. Okay. Then we have Lebanon. Only 2 people, that is Syria and Israel. Remember the place Beirut, which is also the capital city of Lebanon. Okay. And on one side we have who? The Mediterranean Sea. Okay. One more place I forgot to mention is Tripoli. Okay. This is also important. You would have heard it somewhere, like when you learn environment, etc., some agreements. So Tripoli. Remember, Tripoli is also in Lebanon. Okay. Clear? Clear of the Syria-Israel region? Okay. Now we'll see a few questions which was asked previous years. Okay. So we have Mediterranean Sea is a border of which of the following countries? Okay. It is a border of which of the following countries? So we have Jordan, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria. Select the correct answer using the code given below. 1, 2, and 3, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 1, 3, and 4. Okay. So the question is, Mediterranean Sea is a border of which of the following countries? So when we studied this region, we saw Jordan. Jordan is not touching what? Mediterranean Sea. It is actually lying far away. Okay. So Jordan is actually lying far away. Okay. So Jordan would not be there. So we can eliminate Jordan. So Jordan is gone. So if we are eliminating Jordan, we can eliminate 2 options. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 3, and 4. Okay. Now we have Iraq, Lebanon, and Syria. Okay. So, okay, we are not sure about Iraq. So we haven't learned it. But we learned about Lebanon and Syria. So we know Lebanon is on the banks of what? Mediterranean Sea. Syria is also on the banks of Mediterranean Sea. So there's only one option with these two. This C. So C is the right answer. Okay. So this is how you eliminate the options and arrive at the answer. Clear? Okay. Now we'll see another question. This was also asked for UPSC prelims. Which of the following countries of the Southeast Asia does not, the question is, does not open out to Mediterranean Sea? So, one mistake all people do is whenever you see Mediterranean Sea, you directly jump onto the answer. You do not read the question. So that means you would not see what does not. Okay. So the problem is if you're not saying does not, you would arrive at the wrong answer. Okay. So read the questions properly whenever you're solving prelims course. So which one of the following countries of Southwest Asia does not open out toward the Mediterranean Sea? So we have options: Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Israel. All the countries we have learned. So we know directly the answer, it is Jordan. Okay, so we know Syria opens out to what? Mediterranean Sea. Lebanon opens out to Mediterranean Sea. Israel also opens out to Mediterranean Sea. Okay. So the problem here is if you're not reading does not and you just see the first option Syria and then you directly jump on towards Syria. Okay, and you know Jordan is not touching. Okay, so that will happen. So read all the options. Okay, and read the questions properly. Okay, so answer here is Jordan. So you can see that repeatedly UPSC has asked questions from this region. Okay. Okay, there's another question here again. Yes, it is the cities. Okay, town sometimes in news and the country. Okay, so Aleppo, Syria, Kirkuk, Yemen, Mosul, Palestine, Mazar-e Sharif, Afghanistan. What's the question? Which of the above given pairs are correctly matched? The question is correctly matched. Okay, 1 and 2, 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 3 and 4. Okay, so how do you arrive at the answer? Okay, we already studied Aleppo, Syria. That is correct. We know. Mazar-e Sharif, Afghanistan. We spoke about the Garland Highway. Mazar-e Sharif was a part of it, right? So we know these two are correct, right? And we are not sure about this. So even if you don't know about this, whatever option without 1 and 4 you can eliminate. So here there is no 1. Here there is no 1. Here there is no 4. Right? So answer is 1 and 4. So you can always arrive at the answer. So these two places, Kirkuk and Mosul, is actually Iraq. Okay, it was actually there in news in 2018. Okay, that is why they asked. So even if you don't know that, you can arrive at the answer. You know Aleppo and Mazar-e Sharif. Okay. So whenever UPSC ask a question, we might not know all the places, but there'll be some places which we have studied. Okay, and we can obviously eliminate what the answer is. Okay, clear? So that was actually the West Asia and what the Middle Eastern countries. Okay, and Syria, Israel region. Now we'll move on to the Southeast Asia. That is this part of Asia's southeastern side. Okay, below the China and east of India. This is the southeastern region. Okay. UPSC, it's not as favorite as the West Asia, but UPSC has asked questions from this region. Okay. I'm telling you, it's not as favorite as West Asian side, because what more questions has come from this Mediterranean region side or the West Asian side. Okay, so this is not as favorite as that, but still questions has come from this region. Okay, so yes, all these countries are part of what the Southeast. So we have the ASEAN countries. These are the ASEAN countries. Okay, so we have what the Philippines, we have Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Myanmar. So this part we can call CMLV. Okay. We have CMLV. That is what? Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, plus Thailand. Okay, this is also called the Indo-China region. Okay, so whenever we are talking about India-China border, it is actually Sino-China border. I mean, Sino-India border. Okay, and in this region is called Indo-China region. Okay, so we have Myanmar, Vietnam, Laos, there is CMLV, Cambodia, and Thailand. Plus, we have what? Malaysia, Singapore, the whole of Indonesia, Brunei, and Philippines. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And yes, this is here we have what? The Malacca Strait. So we'll see when we are seeing the straits, we'll see the Malacca Strait. Okay. And it is Indonesia here. This is actually what? Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So we'll see that later. Okay. So these are the Southeastern Asian countries. Okay. Yeah. Now, one important thing you must remember of this region is what? Indonesia. Okay. So you must know all the names of Indonesian islands. Not all, but I'll tell you. You must know Sumatra. This part of Indonesia is called what? The Sumatra. Then this part is called Java, this block. And this is Borneo. Okay. At least these three you must remember. So that is Sumatra, Java, and Borneo. Okay. Then we have what? Yes. Jakarta, which is the capital, it's actually sinking. Okay, and they actually trying to change the capital. Okay, I'm not sure if it has have already changed, but yes, this is actually sinking, so they're trying to change. Okay, then we have what? The Strait of Malacca here. This is one of the famous straits, and it is the important sea lines of communication. And it is so small that it gets choked. Okay, one blockade here, the whole thing goes. Okay. So we have Strait of Malacca between Indonesia and Malaysia, Singapore region. Here. And remember, this is part of what? South China Sea is here. Okay. Okay, Borneo is there. Sumatra, Java. Okay. So, and there's Bandung here. It's not that important, but just remember this place. If you are interested, you can just go and learn. Okay. Then, yes, the seas you must remember. On one side, we have the Indian Ocean. Here we have, I'll change the color, just hold on. So we have Andaman Sea here, Gulf of Thailand. Okay, this is the Gulf of Thailand. We have what? The China. Where is it? South China Sea. This part is the South China Sea. Between this, we have the Java Sea. Okay, Java Sea. Here we have the Indian Ocean. Okay. Here we have the Timor Sea. Okay. So it is not possible to remember all these. We'll just learn if there's something in news, we'll learn that. Apart from that, just remember these things of the location of the main islands of Indonesia. That will do. Okay. And remember, this part is also called the Sunda Islands. And this part is the Lesser Sunda Islands. Remember that as well. Okay. So we have what? Sumatra here. Java, Java group of islands and the Borneo group of Sumatra, Java, and Borneo. Okay, and this is the Sunda Island group, and this is the Lesser Sunda Island group. And yes, between this Java and Borneo, we have the Java Sea. Here we have this, yes, South China Sea. Yes, South China Sea is here. Okay, then we have this Strait of Malacca between which connects here and this Indian Ocean and the South China Sea. Then we have the Andaman Sea here, Gulf of Thailand, Indian Ocean. Okay, Timor Sea is here. Here, and yes, equator passes through these. Okay, passes through Borneo and Sumatra. Does not pass through Java. Okay, here, Indonesia. Just try to remember these names. It's not that important, so that's why I didn't make any code with this. Okay, just remember the location of these islands. Okay, here. Okay. Now, that is it about Southeast Asia. So, we just spoke about major countries in the Southeast Asia, that is ASEAN countries and their location. So, CMLV is there. Then what? That is Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, and Vietnam. Plus, Thailand is there here. And then we have Indonesia, right? Then we have what? Philippines. Okay, and Borneo. Sorry, Brunei. Okay. Yeah, and Malaysia and Singapore. Sorry. Malaysia and Singapore as well. Okay. Yes. So that is Southeast Asia. Now we see the countries in war. Okay. Two countries has been in war like in the past year. That is Ukraine and Sudan. Sudan very recently it is there in news. Okay. So yes, whenever there is war, UPSC has a tendency to ask that region. Okay. So if you're talking about Ukraine, so you can see Ukraine here. Okay, this is Ukraine. So we know it was part of former Soviet Union. Okay, that is why, and also because of so many other issues, Russia is recapturing this Ukraine. They have a conflict with Ukraine. Okay, so yes, another thing you must remember is this Crimean Peninsula. This Crimea. This was actually part of Ukraine, and Russia occupied this region in 2014. Okay, this war between Russia and Ukraine has been going on for a very long time. Okay, it's not a very recent war, but now it is escalated. Okay, now it is more tenser. Okay, so that is Crimea here. Okay, and between this Crimea and Russia, here we have the Sea of Azov. Sea of Azov is here, and here we have the famous Black Sea. So remember, Ukraine is here, Russia is here, here is Black Sea here. Okay, and Romania is here. Here. Okay. And yes, another thing is Carpathian Mountain, which is the European mountain. This is on the west side of the Ukraine. Okay. And one important place you must remember is Kiev. Okay. There are other places as well, but remember this Kiev for sure. Okay. Okay. Now, another thing we must remember is the bordering countries. When you're talking about Ukraine, you must remember the bordering countries. But we have so many bordering countries: Russia, Belarus, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Moldova. So how do we remember this? So I'll tell you a story with this. Okay. So we have Hungary, Russia, Poland, Belarus, Moldova, Romania, and Slovakia. So these are the countries bordering Ukraine. So I'll tell you a story. Remember this line: Hungary, Russia. So Russia was Hungary. Hungary, Russia, like a polar bear. So we have Poland and Belarus. So Hungary, Russia, polar bear ate the Mors, Ukraine. Okay, Mors means MORS. That is Moldova, Romania, Slovakia. So Hungary, Russia, like a polar bear ate the Mors, Russia. Sorry, Mors, Ukraine. Okay, so that is how you remember the bordering countries. So Hungary is there, Russia is there, Poland, Belarus, Moldova, Romania, and Slovakia. Okay, Hungary, Russia, like a polar bear, ate Mors, Ukraine. Remember Mars, big Ukraine, Mars, Ukraine, Mars, Ukraine. Okay, clear? So don't forget this line: Hungary, Russia, Hungary, Russia, like a polar bear, ate Mars, Ukraine. Okay, yeah. So we have Hungary, Russia, Poland, Belarus, Moldova, Romania, and Slovakia. Bordering Ukraine. So you can see Russia, Belarus, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Moldova. Okay. And you must also remember Crimean Peninsula, which was actually part of Ukraine, but occupied by Russia now. Then we have Black Sea and Sea of Azov. Yeah. Okay. Now let's move on to Sudan. There's high chance UPSC asked this year because Sudan very recently so many rescue operations going on. Our Prime Minister has announced I think what was it? Kaveri. Yes, the rescue operation. Okay. With regard to what? All the Indians in Sudan. Okay. So, yes. So, Sudan, when you see Sudan, this is Sudan. This is part of what? Africa. Okay, civil war is going on there. So, on one side, we have the Red Sea. Okay. And, yes, the bordering countries are, we have 3 E's on the east. That is Egypt. We have Egypt here, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. So 3 E's on the east: Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Egypt, Eritrea, and Ethiopia on the east. On the south, we have what? The South Sudan. It's easy. South Sudan is easy to remember, right? So 3 is on the east, 1 on the south, South Sudan. Then here we have what? Libya, and then we have Chad, and Central African Republic. Okay, so it is Tripoli SL CAR. Tripoli on the east, south we have South Sudan and Libya plus CAR. Tripoli SL CAR. Okay, Chad and Central African Republic. Easy to remember, right? Tripoli on the east, South Sudan, Libya, Chad, and Central Asian Republic. Okay, and we also have what? Red Sea touching Sudan. Okay, apart from that, this place, Khartoum, which is the capital, is very important. Okay, it has been in news frequently this year. So Khartoum is important, and also Darfur. Okay, Khartoum and Darfur. Okay. I forgot to add one more thing. You must also remember one thing: Nile is flowing through Sudan. Okay, the river Nile is actually flowing through Sudan. Okay, that is another fact you must remember. Clear? Yes. With that, we come to the end of all the bordering countries. Okay. So, which all regions did we learn in the bordering countries? Yes, we spoke about the Central Asian countries. That is a 5 stans. Okay. Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. The 5 stans. Of these, except for the K stans, all the 3 stans border Afghanistan. Okay, then we spoke about Afghanistan and the bordering countries and the important places. So we have 3 stans bordering Afghanistan. Then we have who? Yes, China, India, Pakistan, and on the other side we have Iran. Okay. Then we spoke about the Middle Eastern countries, which all the regions which constitute the Middle East. Okay. And most importantly, the Israel-Syria region. So you must remember all the words regarding what Israel's Syria region. So if you're talking about Syria, it is the word Tijil. Bordering countries are Tijil. Okay. Turkey, Iraq, Jordan, Israel, and Lebanon. Okay. Then 2 important places, Aleppo and Damascus. Okay. Then we also spoke about the Golan Heights region, right? Then Israel. Israel is, everybody is jealous of Israel. So jealous. Okay, Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, and Syria. Okay. Then we spoke about Palestine, West Bank, and Gaza Strip. Okay. Then Jordan. Jordan has so many sisters. So Sisi. Okay. Syria is Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. Okay. Then Lebanon. Yes, Jordan, yes, remember Amman also. Then you talk about Jordan, Amman, and also remember it touches what? The Red Sea. It does not border Mediterranean Sea, and it touches what? The Red Sea. Okay, through Gulf of Aqaba. Okay, then Lebanon. Lebanon has only 2 countries bordering, that is Syria and Israel. And on one side it has what? Mediterranean Sea. Okay, then we saw the southeastern region and in Indonesia, Ukraine, Hungary, Russia, like a polar bear, ate the moss, Ukraine. Okay, that is the bordering countries. Then we have Sudan, Tripoli, SL chart. Tripoli on the east, that is Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia. Then South Sudan. On the south, we have South Sudan. On top, we have Libya and the CAR. That is Chad and Central African Republic. Clear? I hope it is clear. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next important topic, that is oceans and seas. Okay. A few of the topics will be repeating because we know the regions which is frequently asked is the Mediterranean Sea region, Red Sea region, etc. So these will be the same regions which we have already spoken about, but we'll focus more on the borders of the sea. Okay. So we'll move on to the oceans and seas. Okay. Yes, just give me a 2 minutes break. Okay. So we'll see all the oceans and seas. So if we're talking about oceans and seas, there are so many. See, so many oceans and seas are there, right? So if you're talking about how many oceans are there, we have what? Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, the Antarctic Ocean or the Southern Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. 5 oceans. Okay. And there are so many small seas. We have the Sea of Sargasso Sea, Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean Sea here. Okay. Here we have the Gulf of Aden, the Red Sea, the Dead Sea, Caspian Sea, Persian Gulf, the Gulf of Oman, Gulf of Aden. Okay. Then we have the Andaman Sea here, Java Sea here, South China Sea, Yellow Sea, East China Sea. Okay. Sea of course, Sea of Japan. And if you're talking about Europe, there are so many seas. We have got Barents Sea, Gulf of Bothnia, Baltic Sea, Adriatic Sea. So many seas are there. Black Sea is there, Aral Sea is here. Okay. So it's really hard to remember everything, right? So we need not actually remember all the seas. So I've just listed out all the important seas which are frequently asked by UPSC and there is high possibility to ask. Okay. So I wouldn't suggest, I wouldn't say that UPSC would ask only from this region, but there is high probability that UPSC would ask from these regions. Okay. So if you are learning at least these regions, you would be able to surely eliminate your options. Okay. So whatever I'm listing out, you must learn that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So first, let's start. So we have oceans and seas. So what are the main seas which we are going to learn today? So we have the Caspian Sea, we have the Black Sea, we have the Mediterranean Sea, we have Red Sea, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, Gulf of Aden, Aral Sea, East China Sea, South China Sea, Yellow Sea, Andaman Sea, Sargasso Sea, Gulf of Mexico, and the seas in Europe. So this is how I broadly classified broadly listed out the important seas. So when you see these seas, you can see one important factor. All this seas in this set, that is Caspian Sea, Black Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, Gulf of Aden, and Aral Sea. All these are where Asia and West of Asia, or the Middle Eastern region. Asia, Central Asian and Middle Eastern Asian region. Okay, so I say these are the regions where frequently questions are asked. Okay, when we saw the places also, we saw these seas in the neighborhood, right? Then this is actually in the Southeast Asian region, East Asia and Southeast Asia. Okay, then we have the American ones, west of Atlantic Ocean, Sargasso and Gulf of Mexico, and also then we'll see we will not discuss the seas in Europe in detail because it is not that important. We'll just see the important seas. That's it. Okay. Yeah. That is seas in Europe. Okay. Yes. So we'll start with Asia and West of Asia. First one is Caspian Sea. So why did we see Caspian Sea? It's when we saw the 5 stans. We saw the Caspian Sea. Okay. So remember, out of the 5 stans, only 2 stans border Caspian Sea, that is Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan. Okay. Apart from that, we have the Iran, Azerbaijan, and Russia. So I'll give you a code to remember this. This is one of the famous and very common code between UPSC aspirants. It is Tariq. Okay. What is Tariq? Yes. Tariq T is Turkmenistan. Don't mistake it with Turkey. Okay, don't get confused. It is not Turkey, it is Turkmenistan. Okay, A is Azerbaijan. So we have Turkmenistan here, Azerbaijan here. So we have Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan. R is who? Russia. Okay. R. I is Iran. Okay, Iran is here. Then we have K, Kazakhstan. Remember Tariq. Okay, so this is the code you must remember when you talk about Kazakhstan. Remember Kazakhstan, it is Tariq. Okay, and remember T is not Turkey, it is Turkmenistan. That is the only thing you must remember that. Otherwise, if you remember this name, you would obviously remember the countries. Okay, so it's what? Tariq, that is Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Russia, Iran, and Kazakhstan. Clear? These are the bordering countries of who? The Caspian Sea. Clear? Clear? Tariq. Now we'll move on to the next sea, that is Black Sea. Yes, this Black Sea, high probability this time. Why? Because of Ukraine. Okay. So how do you remember Black Sea? So you can see Black Sea here, Sea of Marmara, Aegean Sea, Mediterranean Sea. We'll see that later on. First, we'll remember the bordering countries. Okay. So there's one word I want you to remember. It's RRB gut. So Black Sea has a gut feeling. That's RRB and gut. Okay. RRB gut. So RRB is Russia, Romania, Bulgaria. Okay. And gut is what? Georgia. That is Georgia. Yeah. Georgia, Ukraine, and Turkey. RRB gut. Okay. This is the only thing you must remember when we talk about what Black Sea. Okay. Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, Georgia, Ukraine, and Turkey. Okay. Even if you forget any of these, RRB gut, remember this word RRB gut. Okay. So whenever you ask a question about Black Sea, if any of these letters is not there, then obviously you can eliminate that option for sure. Okay. So remember RRB gut. So that is Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine, and Turkey. Okay. Another thing you must remember about Black Sea is, we know it is on the banks of what? Ukraine. So there's high chance they'll ask. Okay. Then this Crimean Peninsula. Crimean Peninsula is here. Okay. That is there. Then we have what? The Sea of Azov. Between the Crimean Peninsula. It's connected to what? The Black Sea. Okay. Okay. Then there is the famous Danube River, which opens out to what? The Black Sea. Okay. I know it's not easy to remember these names, but just try to store it in your mind. Okay. You hear these 2 or 3 times, you would obviously remember it. Okay, that's how it works. Places in news, all the places which we learn for UPSC, it's like you hear it 2 or 3 times, just keep on looking at the map, you'll remember it. Okay. So then another thing you must remember is the Bosphorus Strait. This is very important. Okay. If there is a question that Black Sea is connected to Mediterranean Sea through Bosphorus Strait, remember it is right. So how is Black Sea connected to Mediterranean Sea? Through Bosphorus Strait. Okay, so you must remember this Bosphorus Strait. So one more thing you must remember is, it is not actually directly connected to Mediterranean Sea. Rather, this part is the Sea of Marmara. Black Sea is connected to Sea of Marmara. Then we have the Aegean Sea. On one side we have Greece. Another side we have Turkey. And then we have the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so Black Sea, Bosphorus Strait, Sea of Marmara, Aegean Sea, and Mediterranean Sea. Okay, but if there's a question that Black Sea is connected to Mediterranean Sea through Bosphorus Strait, that is actually correct. Okay, clear? So these are things you must remember what Black Sea. So RRB gut, that is what? Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, Georgia, Ukraine, and Turkey, and what? All the seas, that is Sea of Azov, the Crimean Peninsula, Bosphorus Strait through is connected to Sea of Marmara, then Aegean Sea, and Mediterranean Sea. Clear? And remember, Aegean Sea is between what? Greece and Turkey. Okay. Clear? Okay. That is what? Black Sea. Okay. And also remember the location. Here we have Turkey here, Black Sea, the Caspian Sea is here, then we have the Mediterranean Sea here, Red Sea, and this is the Persian Gulf. Okay. So just try to memorize the location. Okay. Not all the countries, but the location. Okay. So we've seen this earlier also, but just remember this. Like Turkey is between what? Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea. We have Russia here, Black Sea, Caspian Sea, all those things. Okay. Why am I saying that? Yes, there was a question for UPSC. Turkey is located between Black Sea and Caspian Sea, Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea, Gulf of Suez and Mediterranean Sea, Gulf of Aqaba and the Dead Sea. Can I eliminate Gulf of Aqaba and Dead Sea? Directly eliminate. Okay, Gulf of Suez and Mediterranean Sea? No, we don't know. We are going to eliminate. Okay. Black Sea and Caspian Sea. What's the keyword for Caspian Sea? It's Tariq. Right. And T is what? Turkey or Turkmenistan? It is Turkmenistan. Right? So there is no Turkey on the borders of Caspian Sea you can invade. There's only one answer, Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea. Okay. So if you remember the keywords, you would surely get this answer. Okay. So it's between Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea. Clear? Okay. So that is it about what? The Black Sea. Next one is the Mediterranean Sea. So we already saw when we spoke what the countries, that is Syria, Israel region, we saw the questions. Okay. So Mediterranean Sea is one of the favorite areas of UPSC. But another interesting thing is only this part of Mediterranean Sea is favored. Okay, the Syria, Lebanon, Israel part. Okay, that is actually the favorite area of UPSC. Okay, so what we are going to do is, okay, so this part is actually the favorite area. So it's not actually possible to remember all the places bordering what? Mediterranean Sea. Right, because there are so many countries. We have so many African countries. We have what? Europe on the top. We have Asia here. Okay, so it's not actually possible to remember all the countries. So I'll just tell you a few things you must remember about Mediterranean. Okay, so first we'll just discuss the countries. Okay, just try to remember whichever is possible. So we have Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. Remember Morocco for sure. So one end Morocco, another end is Egypt. Okay. Then we have all the countries here, that is Israel, Syria, Lebanon, etc. Then we have Turkey. Okay. Then there is Greece here, Italy here, then France, Spain. Okay. So I wouldn't say remember all these countries because there are so many other countries, small countries here, but it's not necessary. Just remember at least these. Okay. Next thing is the Suez Canal. Is under the control of Egypt. Mediterranean Sea is connected to the Arabian Sea, or this part is the Red Sea, okay, through the Suez Canal. Okay, so here we have what? The Suez Canal. Okay, that's one thing. And Mediterranean Sea is connected to who? The Atlantic Ocean through the Strait of Gibraltar. It's not actually mentioned. It's mentioned here. Yeah, the Strait of Gibraltar. Okay, and if you're talking about Strait of Gibraltar, that is Spain on top, Morocco on the bottom. Okay, so we'll see this when we're talking about the straits, isthmus, etc. But remember, Mediterranean Sea is connected to Atlantic Ocean through Strait of Gibraltar. Okay, then we have what? All the seas. We have Aegean Sea. Another one, Bosphorus Strait, we already spoke about when we spoke of Black Sea. Black Sea is connected through Bosphorus Strait to Mediterranean Sea. Bosphorus Strait. Then we must know about the Aegean Sea. Okay. Then Ionian Sea is here. Adriatic Sea. Okay, it's here. Okay. I think only so much is necessary. Okay. At least these you must remember. So Bosphorus Strait connects Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea. Aegean Sea is there. Ionian Sea is here. Okay. On the coast of Italy, we have the Adriatic Sea. Okay. Then we have the Strait of Gibraltar here. And on top, Spain, bottom, Morocco. Okay. Then all the African countries here. Algeria, Tunisia, Lebanon, Egypt. Then we have the Suez Canal, which connects Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. Okay. And all the favorite Asian countries here. Okay. Yes. Now we'll see one question which was asked last time. Okay. The term Levant, often heard in news, roughly corresponds to which of the following regions? Region along the eastern Mediterranean shore, regions along the North African shore stretching from Egypt to Morocco, region along the Persian Gulf and Horn of Africa, region, the entire coastal areas of Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so there is very less terms you would have, if you're reading a newspaper, you would have heard this term Levant, but you might not strike. It might not strike to you very quickly which area it is. So I'll just try to link it to you how you can eliminate. So I've already told UPSC's favorite area is what? Mediterranean shore, Mediterranean beach. So you can eliminate all the options which does not have Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Okay. I'm just eliminating these two. Okay. Then there is Eastern Mediterranean Sea and the entire coastal area of Mediterranean Sea. Another thing which I've told you is UPSC's favorite area. It is what? Yes, the eastern part, that is Syria, Israel, that region. So with that, we can go with this option. Okay. But this is not actually a good method to eliminate, but if you have no other way, you can think of it like this. Okay. But if you have read the newspaper frequently, if you have been kept updated with the news, you would already have heard this Levant term for sure. Okay, so Levant is actually a region along the eastern Mediterranean shores. Okay. Here. So answer is A. Now we'll move on to the next important sea, that is the Red Sea. So we already spoke about Caspian Sea, Black Sea, and Mediterranean Sea. Now we'll go to Red Sea. So where did we see Red Sea? It's below Israel and Jordan, right? So this is actually the Red Sea. So one side Asia, another side is Africa. Okay. So yes. Okay. So we have to remember about Red Sea. So how do we do? Yes, on Asian side, one big country is there, Saudi Arabia. Okay. And we already spoke when we spoke about Jordan and Israel that it is actually touching through what? Gulf of Aqaba. You can see Gulf of Aqaba here. So you have Israel and Jordan touching this. And this is the what? Egypt. So we have the Suez Canal here. So Suez Canal is actually controlled by who? The Egypt. So Suez Canal is here. Then we have who? The African countries such as Sudan. So Sudan, when we spoke about Sudan, we already saw it is touching Red Sea. Apart from that, the 3 E's, Eritrea. Okay, Ethiopia is not actually touching to the Red Sea. Then we have Djibouti. Okay, so only so many countries, and Yemen. Yemen is here. Okay, so if you're talking about the Arab nations, only 2 Arab nations are touching. That is Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Then we have Jordan and Israel also. Okay, so that means 4 Middle Eastern countries. Then we have Egypt. Not 4, sorry. Egypt and Sudan is also Middle East. Okay. So basically it is Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, and Djibouti. Okay. Clear? Okay. And Red Sea is connected to Mediterranean Sea through who? The Suez Canal. Okay. This is very important, and Suez Canal is only one within Egypt. There's no other country. Okay. And here we have what? The Bab-el-Mandeb. The Strait of Bab-el-Mandeb. Okay. This actually connects Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. Bab-el-Mandeb. Okay. So these are the things you must remember about Red Sea. So we have what? Suez Canal on top, and on the bottom we have who? The Bab-el-Mandeb. Okay. Yes, then we have the Gulf of Aqaba and this thing. Okay. Now we'll see the Gulf of Aqaba and Sinai Peninsula. This is the Sinai Peninsula. I'll show you. This part of Egypt. Okay, this is actually part of Egypt. So on one side we have Gulf of Aqaba. This is the Suez Canal. This is what? The Sinai Peninsula. So we'll see the Sinai Peninsula. Okay. So on one side we have who? Israel. Okay. Here we have the Gulf of Aqaba, and you can clearly see what? Jordan and Israel touching what? The Gulf of Aqaba. Okay. And on one side we have the Red Sea, and here we have the Gulf of Suez. Okay. And this is totally by what? Egypt. Which is totally controlled by Egypt. So here we have the Suez Canal. Okay. So Sinai, whenever you hear the term Sinai Peninsula, where is it located? It is actually in the Egypt. Okay, Sinai Peninsula. Okay. So we have Gulf of Suez on one side, Gulf of Aqaba on the other side, and bottom we have Red Sea. Okay. And Gulf of Aqaba, you can see one side is the Sinai Peninsula, that is Egypt, another side Saudi Arabia, and Israel and Jordan. Okay, and it is connected to the Red Sea. Okay, clear? So when you are talking about Red Sea, you must also remember Sinai Peninsula, Gulf of Suez or Suez Canal, and the Gulf of Aqaba. Okay, and also the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait. Clear? Clear? Yes, and for this year's prelims, you must remember Sudan is on the banks of the Red Sea. Okay. Now we'll see the next important place, that is the Gulf of Aden. Okay. So where is Gulf of Aden? We just saw it now. Yes, it is below the Red Sea. Okay. So Red Sea is connected to Gulf of Aden through who? The Bab-el-Mandeb Strait. Right. And through that, it is connected to the Indian Ocean or the Arabian Sea. Okay. So this is the Gulf of Aden. So we have Red Sea here, the Bab-el-Mandeb. Okay. So how do you remember Gulf of Aden, the bordering countries? Yes, Aden is actually the old name of who? Yemen. Yemen was earlier called Aden. So we have Gulf of Aden. What? That means Yemen would be one of the borders of Gulf of Aden because Aden is the old name of who? Yemen. Okay. And at the bottom we have what? Somalia and Djibouti. Okay. Here we have Eritrea. Okay. So Djibouti is there, Somalia is there. Okay. Then, yeah, this part, Gulf of Aden, is empties out to the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean. Okay. So we have the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait here. Red Sea is connected to Gulf of Aden. Okay. Here. Just remember these things, that's it. Okay. Now we'll solve a question which is asked for prelims. Okay. Yes. Consider the following pairs, sea and bordering countries. So Adriatic Sea, Albania, Black Sea, Croatia, Caspian Sea, Kazakhstan, Mediterranean Sea, Morocco, Red Sea, Syria. Okay. What is the question now? Which of the pairs above are correctly matched? 1, 2, and 4, 1, 3, and 4, 2 and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So how do we arrive at the answer? So we are not sure if Adriatic Sea is part of what? Bordered by Albania. We haven't learned that. But Black Sea, Croatia, is it correct? What was the keyword for Black Sea? This RRB gut. So there is no sea. Okay. I told you, even if you don't remember all the countries, remember the keyword. So RRB gut means sea is not there. That means Croatia is not there. So this is wrong. Okay. Next is Caspian Sea, Kazakhstan. Tariq. So K is there. Kazakhstan is there. This is actually correct. Okay. Mediterranean Sea, Morocco. Yes, we spoke about Gibraltar. Okay, Strait of Gibraltar. On top, we have what? Spain, and bottom we have Morocco. Okay. This you can actually remember in terms of world history as well, because the Spain-Morocco issue. Okay. So that means it is actually bordering each other. I mean, Mediterranean Sea, it's close by. Okay. Then Red Sea, Syria. No, only two countries of the Syria-Israel region is connecting with the Red Sea. That is Israel and Jordan. That means Syria is wrong. So this is wrong. Okay. So we don't know this one. So we are not sure about this one. So let it be here. Okay. So we know this 3 and 4 is right. And 2 and 5 is wrong. So we can eliminate all the options with 2 and 5 first. So this I'm eliminating. Here there is 2. This I'm eliminating. This I'm eliminating. So there's only one option this left. That is 1, 3, and 4. Okay. So even if you don't remember this one, I mean, if you don't know this one, you can directly reach the answer if you are eliminating. Okay. That is how you always solve UPSC prelims questions. Yeah. So answer here is B, 1, 3, and 4. Okay. So now let's move on to the next. So we have already studied what? The Red Sea, the Caspian Sea, the Black Sea, and the Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Now the next important place which we would be learning is the Persian Gulf. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So yes, let's move on to the next important place, that is the Persian Gulf. Okay. So yes, where is the Persian Gulf? Yes, it's because of the Persian Gulf, the Arab countries are called the Gulf countries. Right. So here we have the Persian Gulf. So on one side, we have all the Gulf countries except Yemen. Okay. So all these countries, that is, we have Oman, UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait. Okay, all these are on the banks of the Persian Gulf. Okay, apart from that, we have who? Iran and Iraq. Okay, clear? Okay, we have Iran, Iraq, and all the what? Gulf countries except Yemen. So if Yemen is there in the option, you can eliminate that option. Any other of these, like Oman, UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, any of these are there? Is right. Okay, just remember like that. And then Iran and Iraq. So Iran, Persia is actually the old name of Iran. Okay, so that means Persian Gulf would have Iran on one side. It's easy, right? Then apart from Iran, there is also Iraq. Okay, and the Gulf countries. Yeah, very easy. Okay, and yes, if you are so much interested, you can also know that there is Tigris and Euphrates. These are very old famous rivers. These are actually emptying into the Persian Gulf. Okay, this region is actually very historically significant, Persian Gulf. Okay, yes. And another thing you must remember is this is connected to the Indian Ocean or the Gulf of Oman. Through who? The Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. Okay. So Persian Gulf is connected to Gulf of Oman through the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. And this place, Bandar Abbas, just have a look at it. This is in Iran. It's actually a port. Okay, Bandar Abbas. Okay. So that is Persian Gulf. When you speak about Persian Gulf, all the Gulf countries except Yemen. Okay. Then we have Iran, which is also Persia and Iraq. That's it. Clear? So we have Oman, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. Okay. And Iran and Iraq. Okay. And Strait of Hormuz. Remember, Strait of Hormuz connects Persian Gulf to Gulf of Oman. Okay. Clear? Yes. So that is Persian Gulf. Next is the Gulf of Oman. Okay. So yes, Gulf of Oman we already saw. It is from Persian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, Gulf of Oman. Then it empties to where is the Indian Ocean. Yes, this is the Gulf of Oman. So we have Arabian Sea or the Indian Ocean here. Here. Okay, so Strait of Hormuz is here. Okay, I spoke about Bandar Abbas. Then there is Gwadar Port. Okay, so who are the borders of Gulf of Oman? Yes, Iran is there, Oman is there. That's it. Okay, and also UAE, a bit of UAE. Okay. And then Pakistan, it's actually not touching, but yeah, it's a vague border. Mainly Iran, UAE, and Oman. That's it. Okay. And one side we have what? Strait of Hormuz, Persian Gulf, and another side we have what? Arabian Sea. Okay. Now, this take a look at this Gwadar Port. This Gwadar Port, remember it is part of Pakistan. Okay. So Gwadar Port is important. Why? It is part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Okay. The prestigious project of China, that is Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. Okay. So one component of that is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. Okay. So and this Gwadar Port is a part of it. Okay. So India cannot access Gwadar Port for sure. So what is India doing? India is having another port here. Okay. In Iran. Called the Chabahar Port. Okay, it's a reverse SEZ for India. So just remember this name. So remember, Chabahar Port is in Iran, and through this we are connecting to what? Through Iran we are connecting to Afghanistan. Okay, there is a Zaran Talaram Highway and the Garland Highway, which we spoke about Afghanistan. Okay, so remember, India comes all the way till here. There's a Chabahar Port, and then it connects to what? Iran and Afghanistan, or Central Asia. This is how India connects. So we are trying to bypass who? Pakistan. Okay. So we have Gulf of Oman here and yes, Persian Gulf. So Gulf of Oman you're talking about, you must remember about Chabahar Port. Okay, and the Gwadar Port as well. Okay, and the borders are Iran, UAE, and Oman. Okay. Yeah. On one side we have the Persian Gulf, another side that is Arabian Sea, which is part of Indian Ocean. That is Gulf of Oman. Okay. Okay. Now we'll move on to the last one here in Asian region, that is Aral Okay. So this is Aral Sea. So where did we see Aral Sea? We saw Aral Sea when we spoke about what? Kazakhstan, the 5 stans. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. So this is actually between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Okay. This sea is between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Only 2 countries are there. And it is actually landlocked. Okay. But why is it important? You can see 2 rivers here. That is Sirdarya River and the Amudarya River. Can you see this? So what USSR did was, what Russia did was, they constructed dam on these 2 rivers and diverted the water from these 2 rivers. So what happened? This Aral Sea, which was initially so much, you can see the white dots, right? Aral Sea was so big, it actually shrank. Okay, and it is almost half the size. Okay, you can see all this are what? The water body shrank and only so much is remaining, and it is still shrinking. Okay, so remember, whenever you talk about Aral Sea, remember it's between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Okay, and also these 2 rivers, Amudarya and Sirdarya. So Russia constructed dam on these rivers, and what happened? Yes, the water supply to Aral Sea decreased and the Aral Sea is shrinking. Okay. And why I'm saying this is, this was actually asked for prelims. Okay. It was actually a very tough question. So which of the following has shrunk immensely, dried up in the recent past due to human activities? So that is Aral Sea, Black Sea and Lake Baikal. Select the correct answer using the code below. That's 1 only, 2 and 3, 2 only, 1 and 3. So we know Aral Sea is the right answer. So if you know that, you can directly eliminate these 2 options. Okay. Then there is Black Sea. So Black Sea is gone because there's only 2 options remain, 1 and 3 only. So you might get confused with 1 and 3 only, but the final UPSC key was 1 only. Okay, so answer is A, Aral Sea, 1 only. Okay, so many times this also happens, like in the last 2 prelims also, there were so many questions you can eliminate up to 2 options, but then you must know the fact. So usually people take a guess here. Okay, they go with either 1 and 3 only, whichever it is, based on their instinct, they take a guess. Okay. Clear? So answer is A, 1 only. Okay. So that is about all the seas and oceans where in the West Asia. Asia and West Asian region. So we spoke about what? Caspian Sea, Black Sea, Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, and Gulf of Aden, and also the Arabs. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now the last topic. Next topic is the East Asia and Southeast Asia. Okay. So we spoke about East Asia, Southeast Asia, right? The ASEAN countries. Okay. Then we have the East Asian region. That is what? Japan, China, South Korea region. Okay. East Asian region. Okay. So here you can see there is Sea of Japan here. There is East China Sea here. South China Sea here. Andaman Sea is here. Okay. So Philippine Sea is here. So these are some of the seas we'll be seeing today. But this is, I told you, right? This area is not as favorite as the West of Asia region. But still we see this because sometimes UPSC can ask questions. Okay. So mainly because if there is some news of anything in this region, for example, South China Sea, it's very disputed region. Right? It was news in very frequently. So this was asked. Not just for film, but also for mains. Okay. So now there's issue here. UPSC asks questions. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So first we'll see the major seas here. So I told you Sea of Okhotsk is there, Sea of Japan is there, East China Sea is there, South China Sea is there, Bay of Bengal, the Andaman Sea. Here you have the Indian Ocean, North Pacific, Philippine Sea, South China Sea, East China Sea. Okay. Yeah. We'll see in detail. Okay. First, we'll see East China Sea and the Yellow Sea. So here, East China Sea would obviously be where? In the east of China. Above that, we have the Yellow Sea, that is between the Korean Peninsula and China. Okay, so we have the Yellow Sea. Here we have what? The Sea of Japan. Sea of Japan is between Japan and North Korea, I mean the Korean Peninsula, and what? We have China and Russia. Okay, here the Sea of Japan. And East China, and above it is connected to it opens to East China. Okay. Why is this important? Yes, this Senkaku Islands. This is very important. Senkaku Islands. Okay, one more thing I forgot to mention is the Taiwan Strait. Okay. East China Sea is connected to the South China Sea through the Taiwan Strait. Okay. That is also important. So remember, the Senkaku Islands is part of Japan. And the Ryukyu Islands is part of Japan. But China says it is part of it. Okay. That is why it is very important. And China has named it Ryukyu Islands. Okay. So China says Senkaku Islands is their part, which is, although it is actually part of Japan. So if there is a question like massive following Senkaku is East China Sea, remember it is correct. Okay. And it is also part of Japan. Okay. So remember saying in East China Sea, Senkaku Islands is very important. Okay. And yes, we have what? Ryukyu Islands as well. Remember this name also, Ryukyu Islands and Senkaku Islands. And China has called this as what? The Ryukyu Islands. And China says that it is part of their what? Continental shelf and the international what? The territorial, it's territorial limits between that. And that is why they claim it what? As a part of it. And China's what? Demilitarized and the zone, right? Military zone is like within this. It has what extended to Senkaku Islands. They're doing so many things to claim that this island is part of them. So it's actually part of the expansionist policy. Okay. So although Japan, Senkaku Islands are, it's actually uninhabited. It is part of Japan. And remember, China claims it as its part. So it's Senkaku Islands. China calls it Ryukyu Island. And it is in where? The East China Sea. Clear? This is the only thing you must remember here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next is the South China Sea. This is important. UPSC has asked main question in this regard. So you can actually draw this diagram if there's a main question. But that is because at that time the dispute was, the South China Sea dispute was in limelight during that time. Okay. So now I don't think it would be it would be that much important, but still have a look at this. Okay. So South China Sea, the problem is, although there are so many countries around South China Sea, China claims what? The whole of South China Sea is ours, China's. Okay. So there is this 9 dash line. You can see this red line, right? China says the area within this 9 dash line is theirs. Okay. And you can see these islands, Paracel Island, Spratly Islands, and the Scarborough Shoal. This is actually Philippines, but China claims it's theirs. Okay. So there is a dispute going between China and Philippines. Okay. So remember these islands' names: Spratly Islands, Paracel Island, and Scarborough Shoal. All these are what the South China Sea. And who are the borders? Yes, China is there, Vietnam is there, Malaysia, Singapore, Borneo, and what? Philippines and Taiwan. Okay. Yes, you can also mention Indonesia and Singapore as well. I mean, the Thailand and as well. Okay. So mainly it is Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Philippines, and Vietnam and China. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, so that is about South China Sea. You remember Paracel Islands, Spratly Islands, and Scarborough Shoal. Okay, these are part of South China Sea and the 9 dash line. So whenever you hear the 9 dash line, it is part of South China Sea and a claim of China. Okay, clear? Yes. Next is the Andaman Sea. Okay, this is also not that important, but just remember the location of Andaman Sea. Okay, We might think Andaman Sea would be like near India, but no. So you can see this is the Myanmar, Arakanyoma would be here, and here you have the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, this Andaman and Nicobar Islands on this side, on the west side we have what, the Bay of Bengal, that is between India and Andaman and Nicobar. We have Bay of Bengal, and between Andaman and Nicobar and this CMLV, that is Thailand. Okay, we have what, the Andaman Sea. Okay, so it's not on the India side, it's on the other side of Andaman Nicobar Island, the Andaman Sea. Okay, and another interesting thing you must remember is this is the bottom one is the Nicobar. You can see Indonesia here, Sri Lanka is here. Okay, so and Indonesia, which one is this? It's Sumatra. Right. So remember, and this is how the international sea line of communication goes. That is the shipping route. It goes like this. Here we have the Malacca Strait. It goes like this. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this is how it is. So remember the location of Andaman Sea. Okay. So we have what? One side of Andaman is Bay of Bengal. On the other side, we have what? The Andaman Sea. Okay. So why I'm emphasizing is, actually there was a question. Which of the following is the geographically closest to Great Nicobar? Sumatra, Borneo, Java, Sri Lanka. This was a UPSC question in 2017. Okay. So, yes, if you don't know this figure, you might think Sri Lanka is very close to India. So, there is chance that what? Great Nicobar is close to Sri Lanka, but that is wrong. Okay. So, you can actually, if you know this figure, you can directly eliminate what? Sri Lanka. And if you know the islands of what? Indonesia, I told you Sumatra is there, Java is there, and Borneo on top. Okay, so if you know the islands of what of Indonesia, we can understand that Sumatra would be the closest. So this is Sumatra. Here is the Great Nicobar, and you can see it is very far. Okay, so this is the advantage of learning the maps. Okay, that is why I tell you, look into your atlas, see the location where it is located. Okay, look into the figures, look into the map, and see where it is located, how far it is. Okay, so if you can picturize it, you can understand it is far away. Okay, otherwise, whenever we speak about Sri Lanka and India, we say Sri Lanka is very close to India, so this we know like it is, and you know what, Andaman and Nicobar is just next to it. There's high chance we go wrong with this question. Okay, clear? Okay. So yes, let's move on. Okay. Yes, so with that we come to an end of what the Asian part. Okay. Now what we must see is the west of Atlantic Ocean and what the European ones. Okay. So if you're talking about the west of Atlantic Ocean, two things we must remember is the Sargasso Sea and the Gulf of Mexico. So this is the Sargasso Sea. Okay. So Sargasso Sea is actually here, you can see Gulf of Mexico. Then this is the Atlantic Ocean. So Sargasso Sea is actually on the what? West side of the Atlantic Ocean. Why is it important? So you would, when you learned in geography, you would have learned about all these currents. Okay. We have the North Equatorial Current here. We have the Gulf Stream. Then North Atlantic Drift, and here you will have Norwegian Current, and then the comes back the Canaries Currents. Okay. So this is the gyre circulation, and this Sargasso Sea is actually what entrapped within that. Okay, so this circulation actually what entrapped this, and there is no it's like a tornado, a turbine. Okay, goes on like this. So Sargasso Sea is actually motionless. Okay, so this part Sargasso Sea. Okay, so that was actually important because it was in news because of so many issues going on about its salinity index, and so many things were problematic. So whenever this is in news, there's high chance UPSC asks. Just remember the location and all the currents around it. Okay, so it is on the west side. So we have USA here, the Gulf of Mexico here. Okay, and this is the Caribbean islands. Okay, just remember its location and all the currents. So Gulf Stream, North Atlantic Drift Current, Canary Current, and North Equatorial Current. Okay, it forms a vortex there. Okay, Sargasso Current. Here, now we'll see the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, Gulf of Mexico. When you're talking about Gulf of Mexico, Yes. Few things you must remember. Gulf of Mexico, one side there'll be Mexico. So Mexico is there. On top, we have who? The United States. Okay. And these are the important things you must remember. Two countries. Okay. Then we have the Caribbean islands. Okay. And Gulf of Mexico connects to Atlantic Ocean through Strait of Florida. There's a Strait of Florida here. Okay. And also through what? The Yucatan Channel. Yucatan Channel. It actually connects to the Caribbean Sea and then to the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. So Gulf of Mexico, Strait of Florida, and Yucatan Channel. Okay. So remember this Yucatan Peninsula. This is one important, interesting peninsula in Mexico. Okay. Only thing you must remember is it is a part of karst topography, limestone topography. Okay. Whenever you learn about limestone topography or karst topography in geography, remember Yucatan Peninsula is part of it. Okay. So remember it is on the banks of Gulf of Mexico. That is it. Okay. I think nothing more to remember about Gulf of Mexico. Just remember Gulf of Mexico. One side Mexico, another side US, and also the Mississippi River empties into what? The Gulf of Mexico. Then we have the State of Florida connecting Atlantic Ocean and Yucatan Channel to Caribbean Sea. And we also have the Caribbean Islands here. Okay. Then you have the Yucatan Peninsula. Okay. These are things you must remember about Gulf of Mexico. And Gulf of Mexico is connected to what? Sargasso Sea. Okay, through State of Florida. Okay, clear? You must remember at least these. That's it. Okay. Next is the seas in Europe. This is the last topic. Okay. So, see, there are so many seas. All around Europe, there are seas. Okay. But I wouldn't tell you to remember all these because it is not practically possible. Unless if you're so interested, you can draw a map and list out all the seas. So I would tell you a few important ones which we've already learned and which you must know. That's it. Okay. Remember at least these ones. Okay. We'll start from here. First is the Sea of Azov. This is important why we spoke about Ukraine. So Sea of Azov was important. And we have the Black Sea. Okay. Black Sea connected through Bosphorus Strait to Sea of Marmara. Okay. Then we have the Aegean Sea. Okay. Then the famous Mediterranean Sea. This we have already learned. So much is done. Okay. So we know how it is located. It's around the Europe. Okay. The south of the Europe. Then this is what? Italy. Italy, we have what? Yeah, Ionian Sea and the Adriatic Sea. Okay. Remember these two. Okay. If you want, you can remember Tyrrhenian Sea and Bellarian Sea. That's not important. Okay. Then the Strait of Gibraltar. This is important. Okay. Next is the Bay of Biscay. Okay. And this particular part is called the Iberian Peninsula. Okay. Just remember, it's not that important, but earlier it was in news. Like maybe around 4 years back, 3 to 4 years back. This Iberian Peninsula. So it consists of Spain, France, etc. But remember, this part is called the Iberian Peninsula. Okay. And this is the Bay of Biscay. Then we have the famous English Channel. English Channel. That is which separates what? UK from the rest of the European countries. And the Strait of Dover. Okay. Then between England and UK, you have the Irish Sea. Ireland and UK. Okay. Then we have the North Sea. North Sea and Norwegian Sea is important. Why? It is part of the Atlantic Ocean current system. Okay. So we have the North Sea and Norwegian Sea. Okay. Then if we are going in, we have the Baltic Sea and Gulf of Bothnia. At least these you must remember. Okay. So on the banks of Baltic Sea, we have the Baltic state, that is Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. Okay, these are called the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and it is on the banks of Baltic Sea. So this is the Baltic Sea, and we have the Gulf of Bothnia. Remember these. Okay, so we have Sea of Azov, Black Sea, Bosphorus Strait, Sea of Marmara, Aegean Sea, and Mediterranean Sea. Then we have Ionian Sea and Adriatic Sea. Strait of Gibraltar is there, Bay of Biscay is there, English Channel, Strait of Dover, North Sea, Norwegian Sea, Baltic Sea, and Gulf of Coast. That's it. Okay. Remember these locations. So you can just take up your atlas, take the map of Europe, and just go through all these seas and the bordering states. Just have a look at it. That's it. And remember their locations. Okay. Clear? Okay. So that is it. We have covered all most of the important topics with regard to what the bordering countries and the seas and oceans. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick revision with regard to seas and oceans. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, so we start with this. So yeah. So we spoke about Caspian Sea, Black Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, Aral Sea, East China Sea, South China Sea, Yellow Sea, Andaman, Sargasso Sea, Gulf of Mexico, seas in Europe. So this part is Asia and West Asia, then East Asia and Southeast Asia, Sargasso Sea, and the Atlantic Ocean seas and the oceans of the seas of Europe. Okay, then Caspian Sea. This first sea, Caspian Sea. So Caspian Sea, only one keyword, Tariq. Right? Tariq. Remember that. Okay, Tariq, that means Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Russia, Iran, and Kazakhstan. Remember, T is not Turkey, it is Turkmenistan. Okay. Yes. So that is Caspian Sea. Then we spoke about who? The Black Sea, RRB Gut. Okay, nothing more to remember, just RRB Gut. So Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, right? Gut, Georgia, Ukraine, and Turkey. Another thing you must remember is what? The Crimean Peninsula in Black Sea and Sea of Azov, and also the Sea of Marmara, Bosphorus Strait, which is connected to what? Yes, here you can see. Okay, there is the Crimean Peninsula, there is Bosphorus Strait, Aegean Sea. Okay, the Nubay River also, just have a look at it, the Nubay River. Okay, here. Then we also saw the location. Okay, just move on. Then we have the Mediterranean Sea. Talking about Mediterranean Sea, yes, all the we spoke about this Israel-Syria region. That is on the banks of what? The Mediterranean Sea. Then we have the African countries, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. Remember Morocco and Egypt. And on top we have Spain. This is the Strait of Gibraltar. Strait of Gibraltar connects what? Mediterranean Sea and Atlantic Ocean. Then we have what? The European countries, Spain, France, Italy, Greece. Then we have Asian country, Turkey. Then Black Sea and Bosphorus Strait. And all the seas, that is Aegean Sea, Ionian Sea, Adriatic Sea. That's it. Okay, remember at least these. Okay. Then yeah, we saw all the questions with regard to this. Then we saw the Red Sea. Okay. If you're talking about the Red Sea, yes, we have what? Yes, one side we have what? Two of the Gulf countries, that is Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Apart from that, we have what? Jordan and Israel, which actually touches through Gulf of Aqaba, the Red Sea. Then we have Egypt on one side, and what? Sudan and Eritrea, as well as Djibouti. Okay. Yeah. So that is what? Red Sea. Now we have Gulf of Aqaba. If you're talking about Gulf of Aqaba, it is the Sinai Peninsula, which is part of what? Egypt. So whenever you hear the Sinai Peninsula, we have one side Gulf of Suez, where there is Suez Canal, Gulf of Aqaba, and on bottom we have Red Sea. Okay, and you can see how what Jordan and Israel is touching Gulf of Aqaba, and thereby it has connection to Red Sea. Okay, so remember Sinai Peninsula is part of Egypt. Then we spoke about the Gulf of Aden. Okay, Red Sea is connected to Gulf of Aden through Bab el Mandab. One side you have Yemen, that is Aden, and on the bottom we have who? The Somalia, or African countries, Djibouti and Somalia. Okay, then it empties to the Arabian Sea or the Indian Ocean. Okay, Then we saw the Persian Gulf. So I told you all the Gulf countries except Yemen. Okay, so we have what Oman, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. Okay, then Persian Gulf means Iran. Persia is Iran. So we have Iran and Iraq as well. Okay, then apart from that, this is connected to Gulf of Oman through the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so that is what Persian Gulf. Now we have the Gulf of Oman. So we have Gulf of Oman, one side there is Iran, and on the bottom there is Oman, and also there is UAE. Okay. Then also we spoke about the Strait of Hormuz and the ports, Chabahar Port and Bandar Abbas Port, as well as the Gwadar Port in Pakistan. Okay. Then the Aral Sea. Aral Sea is famous. Why? It's actually shrinking. Okay. So the two rivers, Sir Darya and Amu Darya, Aral Sea is shrinking. Okay. And it's between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Okay. So there was a question also. Then we saw the East and Southeast Asia, Sea of Okhotsk, Japan, East China Sea, South China Sea, Andaman Sea, Bay of Bengal, and what? Yeah, Indian Ocean. All these things. So first we saw East China Sea and Yellow Sea. So you can see location of Yellow Sea and East China Sea. Why is it important? Senkaku Islands. Okay, Senkaku Islands or the Diaoyu Islands. Okay, so that is actually Japan's territory, but China claims it's their own. Okay. Then we have the South China Sea. It's the most disputed area of China in the South China region. Okay. So you must know the bordering countries and the islands. That is Scarborough Islands, Scarborough Shoal, Parasil, and Spratly Islands. Okay. And the countries Philippines. The dispute is between China and Philippines mainly. Okay. Others are also part of the Philippines. Okay. China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Philippines. Okay. And also we have Gulf of Thailand here. We have Cambodia, Thailand, etc. Okay. Yeah. Then we have the Andaman Sea between Andaman and Nicobar and the other side of Andaman, that is Thailand. Okay. On the on India side, we have the Bay of Bengal. Okay. And we know that Nicobar is closest to Sumatra. Then we also looked into the west of Atlantic Ocean, that is Sargasso Sea. Here we saw who? Yes, the Gulf Stream. It is within, it's a kind of vortex within all the North Atlantic Ocean currents. That is Gulf Stream is there, North Atlantic Current is there, Canary Current is there, and North Equatorial Current is there. Okay, then Gulf of Mexico. It is also like connected to the Gulf of Mexico through the state of Florida. Okay, then we saw the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, Gulf of Mexico. If we're talking about Gulf of Mexico, one side US, another side Mexico, and then the Caribbean islands. Then we have state of Florida. We have the Yucatan Peninsula. Okay. Then the Caribbean Sea. Okay. Yucatan Channel is also there. That is it. And remember, Mississippi also empties to the Gulf of Mexico. Then we saw the seas in Europe. It's not possible to study all the seas, so we just learned all the seas which we know, and then some of the ones in the north. So in the south, we know Sea of Azov, Black Sea, connects to Bosphorus Strait, Sea of Marmara. Then there is Mediterranean Sea, Aegean Sea, and then Mediterranean Sea. Then we have what? The Adriatic Sea and Ionian Sea. Okay. Then here there is Strait of Gibraltar, Bay of Biscay is important, English Channel and Strait of Dover is important. Then we have North Sea and Norwegian Sea, which is part of Atlantic Ocean currents. Then there is Baltic Sea and Gulf of Bothnia. Okay. So these are the important ones you must learn when we're talking about what? The European seas. Yeah. So I think we have covered a lot of topics today. It's important that you must repeatedly see these places. Okay. The more you see it, the more you remember. And just learn the keywords of all what I've told. Okay. The rest you will be able to eliminate. At least these keywords you must remember for sure. Okay. So we'll meet up with the rest of the topics or rest of the places in user, etc. in the next class. Okay. Thank you.